Talking of heavyweight boxers, a couple of things I wanted to ask you about. First of all, the Jarrell Miller situation. We all agree he's a disgrace and so on, and we could talk about that for ages. But do you see any solution in terms of banning boxers permanently who commit these sort of infractions repeatedly? Is there a way that governing bodies can come together or promoters can come together? Can you see a way of doing it that would practically work?
I think it's very simple to do it. And I think it's very simple to stop all this. And it's not about consistently doing it. It's just doing it. Number one, they've done it. So you want your license back. You know how you get your license back? You have to say where you got, who supplied you with the drugs. Not, oh, you've been tested positive. You've been tested positive, but now we want to know where you got them from. So that's where you do it. You hit them where it's at. You want your license, you tell us who advised you to take them and where did you get them from. Because I like to believe that most boxers wouldn't take these off their own back. That's my opinion, and it's becoming prevalent, not just in boxing but in sport. If you want to get rid of it, you've got to really be severe about it. That's what you have to do.
We also saw Anthony Joshua. It seems like ages ago now because of everything that's been happening, but he read out a speech at a BLM protest in Watford. A lot of negative criticism. Well, I don't suppose you can have positive criticism. He got a lot of criticism for doing so. What did you make of it? Did you kind of admire him for sticking up for what he believed in, or did you think he showed a bit of naivety in not anticipating the reaction he got?
Look, I appreciate anybody sticking up for people's rights. You know, that guy in America was murdered by a police officer. He kneeled on his neck. We all see it. The whole world's seen what's happened and the consequences of that. And a lot of people have said various things about it. And some things that have been said, one of the comments he made, I didn't agree with. Other than that, I agreed entirely with his sentiments. I mean, he's come out and said what he's had to say. But one thing I didn't agree with, I don't agree with anybody should be, for what the word, boycotting anybody.
Do you think there is much racism still inherent in boxing? Not necessarily individually.
We're the most tolerant sport out of any sport. You tell me any sport where the top promoter's been a black man, Don King. One of the top black guys in boxing is Al Heyman. The great trainers of the past, Eddie Futch, Emmanuel Stewart. You think of the guys over here. Think of the gyms you go to, how guys work with each other. Mark Tibb, for example, working with Dillian White, white guy and a black guy. There's nothing like boxing. It's the only sport, I think, where more than anything, it happens on a real level, a real communicating level. And nothing stops anybody. There's no one stops anybody getting on in boxing. You get on by your drive, talent, and ambition.
With that in mind, why do you think we don't see more influential black promoters and managers, specifically in the UK? Because a lot of the examples you pointed out are from the US, where Al Heyman's incredibly powerful, Don King before him. We don't seem to see that as much over here.
Well, there's been some fantastic black trainers in this, and there are some great black trainers in this country. Sure. I could go through the list of them. Tundi and Pat Barrett. I can keep going again. Pat Barrett's a promoter.
He is.
Black Flag, they promote. There's a lot of things going on. We'll face our challenges and do what we have to do, irrespective of what colour you are. Nassim Hamid was a promoter. He was given promotional dates by Sky. He had, I think, about 10 dates. I'll give you another example. Chris Eubanks promotes his son, doesn't he? He more or less promotes him. He guides him,
advises him, but
same thing. Yeah, but there's lots of that. And anyway, at the end of the day, it's this sport. I think this sport is more tolerant than any other sport, and people treat people with more respect. I'm not talking about all the nonsense that goes down. Fighters giving the crap over the internet, but invariably, the respect is something special in boxing.
Just before we let you go, it all kicks back off BT Sport on Friday night. What can you tell fans about why they should tune in and why it's going to be a can't-miss event?
Well, I think, first of all, we should tune in, and it's very important to tune in because you've got these young guys fighting. They're good quality fights. The main event's a really good quality matchup. James Beach and Brad Foster, they're both undefeated, both 12 wins, both undefeated. There's going to be a lot at stake for them. You've got a fantastic undercard there, I think, with Hamza Shiraz against Paul Keane. that again's a cracking fight, and I really do rate Hamza. I think he's going to go on and do some big things. But I'm sure Paul's got other ideas. And Hamza is a big ticket seller, but there ain't going to be nobody there to support him in the ring. We've got David Adelaide on there. We've got a few of our other young kids on there. It's important for these young kids. Watch it, because you're going to see what we're all about at Queensbury, developing young talent. It's what we've done, what we're known for, is to bring these kids through and give them an opportunity. And I think that, the benefit of the lockdown for a lot of these young fighters is that they're going to get seen. It won't be on a card where you've got 14, 16 fights. They're going to get seen. They're going to get some great exposure, and it may jump their careers forward and people will know them. And more importantly to tune in, it's the first one. We've been starved of boxing in this country for months and months and months. So it's the first one. So watch it.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it almost as much as getting a haircut tomorrow.
You're no Grecian 2000 on there, Dan. You'll see there's a bit of snow on the roof, mate. What's going on?
You'll see even more when it gets cut shorter.
lot of worry there, son. Like you've had a lot of worry in the lockdown.
Boxing does it to all of us. I don't know how you've survived it.
Just about, yeah.
All right, mate. Well, really appreciate it, and hopefully see you at a show sometime in the autumn.
Fingers crossed, Dan. You stay safe and well, mate.
And you, mate. Take care. Speak soon.
See you. Bye.